Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Snow White with the Red Hair, chapter 131. When we last left our heroes, everyone was sort of reacting to this job posting that seemed very specifically to be targeting Shirayuki. We learned that the client is Zen's uncle, Shinsu Jiran is his name. And that it's a little bit unclear as to why he needs a pharmacist, as when Zen confronted Mockery about it, Mockery commented that he was in good health. But also, people are being a little cagey to Shirayuki about what exactly Jiran's deal is, including Zen. But Zen also has decided he is going to join Shirayuki on this trip. And so with that said, let's dive right on into chapter 131. So we pick up at night, the group gets together to catch up. So I'm assuming this is the same night, but without Shirayuki and Zen, because their last chapter ended with, like, them going to bed. But it's Mitsuhide talking to Kiki, and maybe Obi, but right now we can only see Kiki. Even so, that surprised me. I can't believe Ryu is going to be stationed in Lirius permanently. And Obi is there. Obi and Shirayuki and Zen, they're all there? Which is weird, because, like, the last chapter very much... Let me pull up the last couple pages of the last chapter. You know, they hear the lighting of the... Or they see the lighting of the torch, and Zen notes, I guess it's already time to go to bed, even though we finally got some time together. But now they're all having, like, a midnight snack together, the whole gang. But anyway, I'm not sure what's going on there, because, again, it's supposed to be tomorrow when they leave, so I'm not sure, because, like, the day after, you know, last chapter's conversation, so I'm not sure when this is meant to be happening. But Obi tells Mitsuhide, the young miss is still sensitive about that, you know, and Mitsuhide turns to Shirayuki, is that true? I'm sorry. It's okay. It's getting easier. And Zen then tells the group, I don't know what happened to the Wildland Castle Pharmacy, but Garak made sure to fulfill her precious student's wishes. And Kiki notes, when Ryu first got to Lirius, I was worried that he would get buried in the snow. And now look how far he's grown. And Mitsuhide notes, I was surprised when I saw Ryu talking with Eisatsu Dono and the others at the Rugilia residence. Ah, that's true. And then, I think this is, Zen's line here, as he like suddenly realizes something. The Rugilia residence. Obi, Shirayuki. By the way, words. By the way, you guys did clear up the misunderstanding with Eisatsu Dono, right? What was that misunderstanding again? I don't really recall the misunderstanding there. I don't remember what the misunderstanding was. And the two of them react, Oh, like they're clearly not answering. And Zen gets on to them, stop stalling, lower your voice. Oh, right, okay, I remember this bit now, because Mitsuhide turns to Kiki. What happened? In order to prevent Eisatsu-sama from courting Shirayuki, Hisame Dono had Obi and Shirayuki pretend to be lovers. Right, I remember that part of the like, initial masquerade affair. And Obi notes, yes, it's a misunderstanding that Miss Kiki's husband should clear up. But Zen pushes back, I don't know exactly what Kiki's fiancé did, though, which is, I feel like there's a tension there. You know, the fact that Obi very deliberately refers to Hisame as Kiki's husband when they're not married, and Zen pushes back against that. If it were Mitsuhide, I could see that as being like you know, a vestige of, like, Mitsukiki and their whole, you know, implied dynamic before Hisame really entered the story. But that's Zen who says that. So I'm not quite sure why Zen other than just, like, Obi being inaccurate. Maybe it's Zen, like, defending Mitsuhide or something. I don't know. But Mitsuhide turns to Shirayuki. How did you do it? And Kiki just mutters, 10 seconds. Which I'm not sure what that's about, but Obi and Shirayuki both note it, and we get, like, a countdown. 1, with Mitsuhide looking at Shirayuki. Oh, right, it's the kiss, it's the I remember now, it's the staring into the eyes for the 10 seconds. As Shirayuki just stares into Mitsuhide's eyes for the whole 10 seconds. Zen sees what's going on at second 3, and is not pleased to be part of this. And at second 6, he turns to Obi and gives him like a death glare as Obi just smirks at him. By second 7, Shirayuki's blushing. And we see Kiki's like drawing out the 8, and Zen finally snaps 9, 10, cuts it off, tired of this. And Mitsuhide notes, I see. Sorry. But Obi comments it would have been more effective if she was in a ball gown. And Kiki agrees, well, that's for sure. But Zen cuts the situation short. He's not directly getting roasted here, but very much kind of getting roasted here. Alright, I get it. If you guys want to stay here and drink to talk about the night banquet, you may do as you wish. Shirayuki? And she turns to him, yes, as Mitsuhide protests, I wasn't there, though. And Zen brushes him off. Let's go have some tea at the market. And they leave. Which, again, I'm not quite sure how that ties in with the last chapter when they were supposed to be going to bed and see each other in the morning when they leave Lirius. Again, but like, I don't know. And the three of them all high-five each other. Giving Zen, it turns out, my assumption here, because Zen then tells Shirayuki, I ended up using the countdown as an excuse to leave, which I think we're meant to take as, like, also being, sorry, lost train of thought there. Also being Mitsuhide's reason for, or Kiki and Obi and the whole trio's reason for playing along with that little gambit. To give the two of them some alone time. And Zen and Shirayuki look at each other, and Zen tells her, as like Shirayuki like lowers her hood, I know you're blushing, I can see it. Why are you hiding it? Seriously. You see, this is like definitively after the previous chapter, despite the fact they were supposed to be going to bed, because when he, I mean, like, goes to raise her hood, and she, like, pushes back against him a little bit, or, like, their hands meet or something, and Zen flashes back to grabbing her hand and touching his face with it in the previous chapter. So again, I don't know what the point of the whole we're going to bed now at the end of last month was about. But anyway, she puts his hand down and still holds it, telling Zen, thanks to the lanterns, we still have some time. And Zen looks at her and smiles. Yeah, now that I think about it, we have a long night ahead of us. So I'm just gonna toss aside that last little line of the previous chapter, because it really doesn't make any sense at this point. And then we cut to the trio, the retainer trio, hanging out on the balcony. But still, that master, he didn't take me with him. Obi, which is just like, he never would have taken you, Obi. Don't kid yourself. I got drinks, though, so it's fine. But Kiki questions, you and Zen got to talk at the Rugilia residence, right? Yeah, but we had so much to talk about. And Mitsuhide tells him, Shirayuki made herself scarce, because she said that you were at ease. And I don't know if this is in response to Mitsuhide's line, but it almost looks like Obi is like looking behind Mitsuhide in his confusion. Eh? That's weird. I'm also at ease when I'm with the young miss. That's just fuel for the Obi-Yuki gang. And Mitsuhide sighs, like, really, are we having this conversation right now? The way your heart is at ease can change slightly depending on who you're with. And Kiki adds on, I guess Shirayuki got to know you well during your time together. Just, like, throwing gas on the fire. As Obi turns to her, with a look of surprise, that Mitsuhide questions, Is that surprising? Shirayuki cherishes you and the relationship you have with her. You don't think it's just by your own will alone that you're standing by Shirayuki's side, do you? And it almost feels like Obi has, like, not really considered his relationship with Shirayuki, which feels weird. I don't know, maybe all of, like, the flirtiness was a part of, like, Obi teasing, and all of a sudden he's, like, being confronted with the fact that it was a good deal more than teasing. Like, we had all kind of worked out already. I don't know, though. Um, anyway, Obi just notes no. Kiki looks at him as Mitsuhide goes on. I know in my own way. That is something she would... Oh, no, that's Obi's line still. That is something she would say. Mitsuhide comments, I see. And Kiki, referring to his earlier not going with Shirayuki and Zen, whining, shall I tell Zen about your complaints? You don't need to do that. And Obi, looks out over the skyline, as Kiki questions, I wonder where Zen and Shirayuki went. I think they're going back to the base for a cup of tea. Mitsuhide goes on, you see, we're leaving together tomorrow. That's why I left a room next to Zen's for Shirayuki to sleep in. And Obi, just trying to weasel his way in there. What about me? And Mitsuhide cuts him off. Your room is in the base. And back in the market, we see, Zen and Shirayuki are still having their little tea date. Zen asks Shirayuki, which tea stalls are good? Where should we sit? And Shirayuki just, watches him. Not really, just, taking a moment to, take him all in. Very romantic-like. I thought you needed to go back to the base. Girl, he was trying to spend time with you. Okay. But Zen just looks at her, do you want to go back? Actually, there is a room, but Shirayuki finally, cuts him off. Not yet. I want to be with you. If you have time, we can drink floral tea and talk until it's time to turn in. They're just a cute little couple here. And, Zen's a little taken aback by the directness there. Floral tea sounds nice. And then she answers the earlier question. Lucian tea. And Zen smiles at her, and she just becomes a blushing mess there. I think there was some in that stall. I'll go get some. And she runs off, not really wanting to deal with all this right now. And Zen calls Shirayuki, let's go together. And she runs off, Zen sort of stays there watching her, and there's some distance away, she leans her head on the pillar to calm herself down, and thinks, what flower was this again? This is referring to a earlier conversation they had had. An early moment. No matter how long I want to stay with Zen, we can't go back to the inn. I'm thinking he's not here anymore, she comments. Thank goodness he didn't notice. And then Zen grabs her hand. And she turns and sees him staring into her eyes. As she's just blushing here. You said it was Lucian tea, right? And he notes, it's not here. The tea that I drank with you before. And that's it. The fact they're both sort of thinking about the same little moment. I don't quite remember when that moment was, because it's been a long while, I suspect. But our next chapter is November 24th, so this month. But yeah, it's a cute little chapter. It has this interesting little thing where, because next chapter kind of promised the start of this arc, this chapter is also kind of promising the start of this arc. Because last chapter ended, we're going to go to bed, and then we're going to start the journey in the morning. And then they didn't do that. And so we're sort of in the same place we were, just with another, cute little date with Zen and Shirayuki. And this little moment with the retainers, talking about, Obi and Shirayuki's bond. I don't know, it's all nice, but also, everyone feels a little bit more, naive than I would sort of expect. The sort of blushing from especially Obi's whole, wait a second, do I really care about her? Which feels very delayed. I talked a little bit about this in Cuckoo, where there was a moment where Erika finally realized her feelings, and it felt like she had already done that. We just hadn't really heard it yet. And that's doubly so here. Because it really does feel like Obi's kind of clueless here in a way he never is really presented as being. And I think it's for the best that he's rarely presented as being clueless. Though there might be some minutiae I'm missing. I don't know. I feel like Obi should be aware of the sort of romantic tension between him and Shirayuki by now. And yet this whole balcony scene plays out like he has no idea. I might, again, be missing something, but I don't really think I am. I don't know. It's a weird little beat that I'm not quite sure... Like, it's a cute moment, but I'm not quite sure it ties in with, like... Or I'm not sure how it ties in with Obi as a character as we've seen him to date. I don't know. And then this cute little moment with Zen and Shirayuki. They so rarely get to spend, like, genuine romantic time together. You know, in their few times they've been able to be together in the past couple years, it's been, like, very business-oriented with, like, the Eisatsu stuff, or the sneaky little meeting at the start of the Eisatsu stuff. And now they have this, like, date, and they're both sort of embarrassed by it, especially Shirayuki. And I really do love the reveal with them that, like, they were both sort of thinking about that same early encounter, even I'm not sure what early encounter it was, because it's been a long time since I assume this was, like, very, very early. Looking at, or maybe not, because, like, I'm looking at Shirayuki's hair there, to try to, like, determine, like, length, or how long ago it was, because, like, you know, the series has been generally consistent about her growing her hair out. But it's at her current length. So I'm not quite sure when, unless this, because it was longer than that still at the start of the series, wasn't it? I don't remember. No, because they met after the haircut. Yeah, because she cut her hair, then met Zen. I remember that. I'm dumb. So this must have been pretty recently, but I just don't remember when it was. So if someone in the comments wants to fill me in, that would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, it's still a cute little moment, them both sort of, like, calling back to that earlier encounter, to, like, continue the sort of warm feelings there. Though, even as Shirayuki, I think that's the meaning of her line on 19, we can't go back to the inn. They can't go back to that earlier encounter, their, you know, time forever moves forward, I think is what's going on there. But it is a cute moment there. I think the Obi stuff was a little weird in his characterization, but the Zen Yuki bits were very sort of sweet and a great little show. It's nice for them to have a quiet romantic moment where nothing is really going on. I just think that was neat. So with that said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes it happy, you know? And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!